Hi everyone, this is Haylen Danielle. I have a new video for you today, which is on 5 steps to preparing now for future opportunities. So step 1 is strength and weaknesses, assessing those. So there are a number of ways you can do that. One of them is to take a strengths test online. Another way is to look over past journal entries or different writings of yours and assess yourself that way. You can observe yourself or study yourself for a determined amount of time, whatever you choose. It could be a few days, few weeks, months, whatever, and just intentionally observe and study yourself as you go through the different routines of life and see how you respond to things, see what things bring out the best in you or help you reach to your fullest potential, and what things work against you, maybe your mindset or whatever. So just take stock of those things. Another way is to talk to the people who know you in different settings. So it may be a work setting. Those people will know you, that kind of you, but they won't know the same you necessarily or fully as, for instance, your family might know. So get to talking to those people who know you really well and just ask them and allow them some time so they can really think about it with their busy lives. But what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And so it's really important to get to know your true self so that you can get an accurate assessment, which takes you into doing step number 2 really well, which is personal development. So I got turned on to personal development, the concept, in 2013 when I was first introduced to the late Jim Rohn, Rohn, and I'll put that in the description below so that you can make sure you spell his name correctly in case you decide that you want to look him up and get to know him a bit. And so I went on my own personal development journey a few years back, and it's been very crucial in my progress. And I am still on that journey. I still place a lot of emphasis in it, and I'm very intentional about just trying to get the best out of myself that there is and be my best self as much as I can. Number 3, and the personal development bleeds right into that, and that is developing a plan of action. So that's a term that I have been saying for many years. Sometimes I'll just randomly ask people questions when I'm having a conversation, and they'll be saying whatever they're not doing well in or whatever. I say, okay, after they describe it to me, so what's your plan of action? So what that is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think, but it's basically saying, okay, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, and what's my plan of action to build a bridge between those 2 points so that I can get from A to B as well as I possibly can. And at the end of B, when I finally reach that point, I am the best that I possibly could be. I've become a better person along the way of that journey. And so as you go through life, the idea is you go through these different your plan of action. You grow, you mature, you become a better person, and maybe your perspectives on some things change. So along with that, your plan of action should change. Or maybe you focused in on one area of weakness, and that is now better. And so now you're ready to move on to another area of weakness. So then you develop maybe a plan of action directly for that one area. And so there are different ways that you can do it. And if going back to step number 1, you've gotten to know yourself very well, your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe some people do better as a list person. I'm definitely a list person, but some other people, they can just keep track of it in their heads. They have their own system for that. So go back to how you work best and develop your plan of action based off that. It could be goals. It could just be a dream that you've envisioned. You don't really know how to get there. So what's your plan of action? Do you need to have more structure and a schedule in a day, or are you better just kind of being in the moment and reacting to things as they happen? So step 4 is identifying the types of opportunities that you want to come your way, but remembering to be flexible in what those opportunities might look like. So if you had the basic structure and outline, say, this is necessary, this is necessary, this is a definite passion of mine, so it's got to be in there. Then as you go through this personal development journey and you're working on your plan of action and you're growing and maturing, then people will probably start to take notice. You'll start to develop a name and a reputation for yourself. And so then opportunities might just start presenting themselves to you when you're not even going out and seeking those opportunities. So the idea in all this with this whole video is that you want to be prepared for that. So it's in the training. So if I was to relate it to sports, I would say the opportunities that come your way would be the game, but preparing for those opportunities, being ready when that time comes, that's your practice. So you need to take that super, super seriously, because you don't do well in the games consistently if you don't take the practice seriously, and you don't do well in the practice. So that is how you prepare for the game. That is how you prepare for your shining moment. So it's the same concept in life. The way I see it, at least, is you need to, just in your regular daily activities, you need to be in training for the opportunities, so that when they come, you recognize them, and then you can assess them. You can go through your process that you go through in making a decision. You may not take the opportunity because it may not be exactly what you're supposed to do, or it may not be the right timing, but at least you've gotten to the point where you get to consider that. And if you handle that opportunity well, whether you accept it or you reject it, then people will remember you. And if you handle it well, then if a different opportunity comes up that is similar but it's a little different, maybe they'll offer that to you again, or maybe they'll pass your name on to somebody else, and somebody else will offer you an opportunity, and you may be like, yeah, that's it, that's the one I've been waiting for. Number 5 is your circle of influence. So going back to step 1, you've assessed yourself, you've gotten to know your true self, you know where you're going, you've developed your plan of action, you're carrying that out, you're going through this process, and you know where your point A is, you know where your point B is, and you're building that bridge in between the two. One thing that really helps you get to that point where you want to go is the people influencing you. So be it your coworkers, be it your family members, be it professionals that you bring into your life. I have a counselor. I don't need her as much in the counseling role now as I do in the coaching role. But then also, which is very important to me, which is having different perspectives when I'm about to make a decision, when I'm just considering things, when I'm dealing with how to navigate people. It is very important. I try not to get caught up in tunnel vision. I don't like that, but I'm human, so it happens. So I like to have people who are older, younger, who come from different cultures, different states, just different environments, and have different wisdom and insight and discernment than I do, so that they can help me see my blind spots, and so that they can help me get an overall well-rounded picture of a situation before I make a decision. Also, those people are influencing you on a regular basis, so you want to be going in the right direction. You don't want the people holding you back. You also don't want to be holding them back, so it needs to be a good situation. Accountability partners, good mentors, and being a good mentor to other people. So it all just works in this. The circle of influence works in a circle where everybody's influencing everybody else, hopefully for the better. That's the idea. Anyhow, on paper, it sounds good. Do we really execute it well in life? Maybe not so much. Those are your 5 steps. So assessing your strengths and weaknesses, personal development, developing a plan of action, identifying the type of opportunities you want to come your way, but remembering to remain flexible and what those may look like in your circle of influence. So that is not an all-inclusive list, but hopefully it's enough information, and it should be, because it's worked well in my life and it's made a huge difference. So now I'm at the point where the opportunities are just coming to me, not expecting them, not looking for them necessarily, but they come to me, and now I'm finally ready to take on those opportunities. So it's worked for me. I hope it can work for you. So if you would, give it a shot. If you like this video, give it a like. Thank you for joining.